Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will step into the world of The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. The Secret Garden, written by Frances Hodgson Burnett and first published in 1911, is a beloved classic of children's literature. Set in the English countryside, the novel tells the story of Mary Lennox, a young, spoiled girl who is sent to live with her uncle in a vast, lonely manor after the death of her parents. There, she discovers a neglected garden, and as she brings it back to life, she undergoes a profound transformation. The novel explores themes of rejuvenation, healing, and the transformative power of nature. Plot summary. On a hot, oppressive day in colonial India, Mary Lennox, a sour, sickly child, wakes to find that her parents are dead, victims of a cholera outbreak that has swept through the household. Unwanted and forgotten, she is shipped off to England to live with her uncle, Archibald Craven, at Misselthwaite Manor, a sprawling, gloomy estate on the edge of the Yorkshire moors. Mary, raised by indifferent servants, has never known love or kindness, and her spoiled, demanding nature makes her unlikable to those around her. Misselthwaite Manor is vast and full of secrets. Most of the rooms are closed, and its master, Archibald Craven, is seldom seen, lost in his grief over the death of his beloved wife, who passed away 10 years earlier. Mary is left to her own devices, her days stretching into dull sameness. But slowly, her isolation forces her outside. The wildness of the Yorkshire moors and the fresh, cold air stir something in her, and she begins to explore the sprawling gardens surrounding the manor. It is Martha, a spirited young servant girl, who first tells Mary about the mysterious garden, a walled paradise that has been locked and abandoned since Mrs. Craven's death. Mary's curiosity is piqued. Why would anyone abandon a garden? And where is the key? As the days pass, Mary grows stronger from the fresh air and exercise, and she begins to feel less cross. Her mood softens further when she meets Martha's brother, Dickon, a boy with a magical connection to animals and nature. Dickon seems to befriend every living thing, from the wild birds to the sheep on the moor. His warmth and gentleness contrast with Mary's sharpness, and slowly, she begins to open up to him. One day, while exploring the grounds, Mary finds an old key buried in the earth, and soon after, she discovers the door to the secret garden hidden beneath thick ivy. The garden is overgrown and wild, a shadow of what it once was. Yet, despite the tangle of dead branches and weeds, Mary sees beauty in it. With Dickon's help, she begins to tend to the garden, clearing away the dead growth and planting seeds. As the garden begins to come alive, so too does Mary. The once sour, selfish girl begins to change, her heart softening with every new leaf and bloom. But Misselthwaite Manor holds another secret. On stormy nights, Mary hears strange cries echoing through the corridors. At first, the servants deny it, but Mary's curiosity cannot be quieted. One night, she follows the sound and discovers a hidden room where her cousin, Colin Craven, lies bedridden. Colin, like Mary, has been spoiled and neglected, but his suffering is deeper. He is convinced that he is dying, crippled by a spinal condition, and has lived his entire life in isolation, fearing that he is doomed to die young like his mother. Mary, who has grown strong from the garden, is indignant at Colin's weakness and self-pity. She refuses to indulge his fears and instead challenges him, insisting that he is not dying, that his illness is more a product of his mind than his body. Slowly, Colin begins to believe her, and the two form an unlikely friendship. Mary shares the secret of the garden with him, and for the first time in his life, Colin ventures outside. The garden works its magic on Colin just as it did on Mary. Day by day, he grows stronger. He learns to walk, first with help and then on his own, as he, Mary, and Dickon work together to bring the garden back to life. Colin, who once believed himself to be frail and helpless, becomes more confident and full of life, casting aside his bitterness and fear. Meanwhile, Archibald Craven, haunted by the loss of his wife and estranged from his son, wanders Europe in a state of despair. He has left the care of his estate to others, believing that nothing can heal the pain of his past. But one night, while resting in a village, he dreams of his wife, calling him back to Misselthwaite, to the garden. The dream is so vivid that he decides to return home, driven by an inexplicable feeling of hope. When Mr. Craven arrives at Misselthwaite, he finds the manor strangely alive with a new energy. In the garden, he hears laughter, children's laughter, and as he enters, he is astonished to see his son, standing tall and healthy, walking among the blooming flowers. Colin, radiant with joy and newfound strength, runs to him, embracing the father who had long since abandoned hope. The garden, which had once been a place of sorrow and death, is now a place of life and love. Archibald Craven, overwhelmed with emotion, finally lets go of the grief that has held him captive for so long. The garden, his son's healing, and Mary's transformation all become symbols of rebirth and renewal. Together, they find peace in the beauty of the world around them, a beauty that had been hidden, waiting for someone to uncover it. As the garden flourishes, so too do the lives of those who have tended it. Mary, once unloved and unwanted, finds a family in Colin and Dickon. Colin, who had been imprisoned by his fear, is freed by the power of belief and love. And Archibald Craven, who had been lost in grief, is brought back to life by the sight of his son's happiness. The secret garden, once forgotten and neglected, becomes a symbol of healing for them all, a reminder that even in the darkest of places, life can bloom again. Hope you enjoyed that. If you want more, explore other amazing works by Frances Hodgson Burnett. You know where to find them. Check the description or Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Frances Hodgson Burnett's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.